Talking about a recent fire incident in Christchurch. There was one just within the last week or so where a woman and her 6-year-old daughter died. And that's absolutely positively tragic. But, you know, what could have been done? If the firefighter had arrived, hopefully, neighbors had noticed and the firefighter had got there in time. The fire maybe would have been in the kitchen. They could have still gotten into the bedroom and gotten the people out alive. Those people would have been considered heroes. I mean, we all look at the firefighters and consider them heroes. Had they been able to do that, they'd have been extraordinary. But there's also a role for the ordinary person that could have turned them into the extraordinary hero as well. If the ordinary person had been able to prevent that tragedy from occurring in the first place, wouldn't that have been better for everyone? The pain and suffering that goes along with the death in a fire is just horrific. So what we need is for each one of you to take it upon yourselves to be that new extraordinary hero and look around you. Look at your friends' houses. Look at your kids' houses. Where are they living? If you have students at a university, are they in a student flat? Do they have a smoke detector in that student flat? Moms and dads, ask, check. When they're moving into a new flat, is there a smoke detector there? Does the battery work? Have you pushed the button? And made the noise? Is it actually working? Neighbors, if you have an elderly person that lives near you, have you ever gone and just had a cup of tea with them and checked to see if their smoke detector was working? One of the best things you can do is to prevent the fire from reaching that level of tragedy where you have a fatality. So landlords as well, think of it. Do you want to be there and wake up the next morning and find out that the person who is living in your rental property has died? Not something I want to do. So you really need to make sure that the smoke detector is installed and that at least when the tenant goes in there is a functioning battery, and put it on the lease agreement that they have to maintain it, and they don't, hopefully you prevent all this from occurring. The firefighters don't want to arrive to the residential building and find that there are people still inside. That is a travesty. Things shouldn't happen. It shouldn't get to that level. And of course they're going to be frustrated because they can't do anything. So you really need to increase the awareness for everybody in the community to be looking out, to be aware of the potential for fire and to do something about it, to get that smoke detector in place. And also then the other little things as well about, keeping the matches and the lighters away. How many of you as kids wanted to play? I mean, it's just not, you need to keep those types of things away from children. And you also need to keep heaters, use them safely, keep combustibles away from heaters. Do everything you can to stop the fire from occurring, number one. And then you have the smoke detector installed, number two, to make sure that if it does start, you wake people up and they get out of the house before it's too late.